Welcome to Timeball Games. I'm ELD, here to ask you for help in growing the channel. When we reach 2,500 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away a custom leather playmat to one lucky subscriber. So be sure to like and subscribe. Welcome to Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering from ELD's Timeball Games in Bellingham, Mass. Here we have Connor on Miracles squaring off against a Renin 6 deck. Renin 6 control, running Arkham's Astrolabe. Drawing a couple of cards here and some snow basics, which are going to make this mana base rock solid versus any type of non-basic land hate. Very often, Miracles will have back to basics, and that card will not do a ton in this matchup. We've got Predict. During the end step, then drawing a card for turn. Goyf able to hit for 3. And Tarmogoyf really at an all-time high in terms of power level with Renin 6 in the format. Swords to Plowshares clears the Goyf. And at this point, Pyle's mana base just absolutely rock solid. We've got a Jace the Mind Sculptor. And it's actually resolving here. Brainstorming, drawing a card. And this could be incredibly bad here for the control deck. Another Tarmogoyf. Not the most effective way of removing a Jace. Worst case scenario, it can actually bounce the Goyf and stick around until better options arrive. So this is a little bit treading water here. Another land drop made. Fetching after the Jace Brainstorm. And now a Ponder. An absolute fistful of cards. A couple of fetch lands on board, which can go get Mystic Sanctuary. So each fetch land, you don't want to overlook the value of that card, as you can reload on a card like Predict, get some extra cards out of it, get answers. Renin 6, the red mana off of Astrolabe, and now both players with Planeswalkers. Council's Judgment's going to find a hard cast force. Will Connor be able to fight over this? He has a Force of Will pitching Brainstorm. And Pyle getting a card back in terms of card advantage, but every turn that passes, Jace the Mind Sculptor can either Brainstorm or Fate Seal and move toward victory. He's actually choosing to Fate Seal here. Brushing aside the Plague Engineer with the Swords to Plowshares. Up to 9 loyalty. 13 loyalty is where this Jace wants to get to. We've got another hardcast force, this time from Connor, stopping Pyle's Jace the Mind Sculptor. Jace the Mind Sculptor is put to the bottom, and that is going to do it. Passing back would give Pyle just one more turn, and he is not interested in chasing that super small percentage. I mean, maybe he can draw a lightning bolt or something and slow things down. But there's no way he's getting back into that game without extraordinarily unusual circumstances. And this is going to be a control battle. The clock is one of your opponents. You've got to make sure that you manage that. And no sense in chasing that really slim chance. All right, skipping past quite a bit of shuffling there. Connor's going to look to hold on for a win. Despite being down 2 cards, Red and 6 can make up a mulligan very quickly just with a turn 2 play of picking up one of those fetch lands from the graveyard. The Planeswalker really does create a steady stream of card advantage. And now an Arkham's Astrolabe into a Ponder. Ponder's deemed to be good enough. Miracle's jamming a counterbalance, one of the only early plays that the deck has available to it to be proactive. Tons of early answers. But other than cantrips, not a whole lot to commit to the board on turn 2. And that leaves a window for a Tarmogoyf to land. That Force of Negation. Keeping counterbalance clear. One of the more difficult to deal with cards as well. Not as bad to deal with on the stack, obviously. Pyroblast, a very solid answer to it. But a lot harder to remove it once it's on the board with a card like Pyroblast. Of course, that's different when you're dealing with cards like Abrupt Decay that are uncounterable. We've got a Snapcaster Mage into Ponder. Connor's going to brainstorm in response. You see a Swords to Plowshares. And again, the cards are deemed good enough. Snapcaster allowing the card to be drawn off of Ponder. We'll see if the shuffle gets rid of the other cards or if it's just quality on top predict. Getting rid of that island. And drawing 2 cards, and now Ponder continues the ball rolling. A Snapcaster Mage, not the most legitimate clock. Miracle's not super worried about getting hit for 2 a turn, but they are worried about a card like Jace the Mind Sculptor, which resolves uncontested. A very, very different situation to be hit by a Snapcaster for a few turns when you're improving the quality of your cards. It's another when you're getting buried in an avalanche of card disadvantage and also getting hit. Force of Will keeps that Jace the Mind Sculptor alive. Paying a point of life and now fetching the 1 life off of that, bringing Pile back down to 20. Swords to Plowshares previously padding his life total. And just riding the card advantage here with Jace, drawing 3. Arkham's Astrolabe to redraw. And Ponder keeps him again. Pile looking to hold on for 5 more turns. If he gets down another threat, it will just cut this in half to likely a 2-turn clock. Pyroblast stops that Snapcaster from entering the battlefield and creating any type of value. And now following up with a Ponder and a Portent. Connor digging, but this Jace the Mind Sculptor, in a way, the bigger issue. Goyf easily replacing that Snapcaster. And now Snapcaster Pyroblast is the backbreaking play to force us into game number 3. And that is how you do it as a Ren and 6 or multicolor control deck. Snapcaster just providing incredible value on your silver bullets, those somewhat narrow cards that are incredibly good in a matchup. Getting double use out of them with Snapcaster is so strong. I would say Kind of the more colors you have, the deeper your sideboard, the better Snapcaster is. It's a great card, don't get me wrong. In a deck like Miracles, the ability to have your choice of any of your cards, really, you've got Brainstorm and Ponder for card advantage. You've got cards like Swords to Plowshares, even flashing back Supreme Verdict, can be very, very good. And I suppose that's actually a little bit more in line with the point I'm trying to make here is the narrower the card, the more powerful the card. Those cards, when you flash back with Snapcaster, are really backbreaking. To flash back a Supreme Verdict, even though you've got the disadvantage of losing your Snapcaster, the matchups where Supreme Verdict is good, they're not usually going to be able to handle that card twice in the match. And similarly, Pyroblast, trading up, taking out a 2-mana spell that was being counted on for so much in that spot. Snapcaster to block the opposing Snapcaster and get some card advantage going, and instead it's all brushed aside for 1 mana. That's where you want to be. We've got this Renin 6 able to come down uncontested, return a fetch land, and now a Hydroblast that gets a Force of Negation. And oh, is that actually... They're playing very quickly. Was that on Pyle's turn that Force of Negation was used? Yeah, let me know in the comments if I missed that. We've got a fetch. Force of Negation is not Force of Will. Very often it's better, but not when it's on your turn. We've got a Leovold now. Leovold shuts off a lot of options. Of course, makes Brainstorm absolute garbage. Connor's going to play a Predict in response to it before it's totally dead. And now Swords to Plowshares on Leovold, gets a card drawn. So the guy does his work, even in defeat. Leovold drawing a card. We've got a Tarmogoyf. And picking up another land. Snapcaster Swords is stopped again, this time by that Pyroblast. Protecting Tarmogoyf. Goyf at least 4 power now. I believe we've got instant sorcery, land, creature, and now Planeswalker. Dovin's Veto stopping that Jace. And Dovin's Veto is one of those cards that's incredibly good with Snapcaster as well. A Hydroblast attempts to stop Renin 6, and Force of Will gets stopped by Dovin's Veto. Tarmogoyf comes in. Can Miracle stabilize and stop this Goyf? He's got one more turn to do it. Terminus off the top. Got a hard cast Force, and Terminus is thwarted, and Tarmogoyf is able to cross that finish line, doing the final 5 damage despite a whole ton of sideboard cards Connor putting on display. These two players discussing their sideboard strategies, both trying to improve. Nothing wrong with some friendly competition. Win or lose, trying to get better is always a thing that I admire. That is all for this one, but don't worry, there is a lot more. You can check out our older videos, and we're always putting out new videos from ELD's Time Vault Games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. If you want to help the channel, of course, you can like, subscribe, share, tap that notification bell so you can know the next time our new videos come out. Thanks for watching.